All right, on today's episode of Python Papi, we're back inside our AI Learning Agents project. Let's have a look at what we went over today. Yesterday, if you recall, we had an issue with running our Google Colab version of our code. I'm going to run it again so we can actually bring up that error so we can see exactly what we're working with. I'm not going to do the pip installs and all that stuff again because it's already installed, so I don't have to do it twice. We can just run our code and go from here. So you can see the first part went through successfully, so we're going to run the second part. I should have cleared this first part. Let's see what the error says here. So it's saying the string object has no attribute copy. I fixed the initial issue we were having with the what was the first issue here with the config list, I believe it was. We had the one with the data, it wasn't getting read from the file, so we fixed that. Then we had an issue with the config list, wasn't getting read, so we fixed that. No, it was the auto gen assistant agent. I had it spelled wrong, so I had it auto agent a assistant agent. I had it like this, so it was a it's not the proper attribute for this AutoGen library. That's why I wasn't picking up. It was saying it was an error, so I had to get this AI out of the way. It was just AutoGen.assistant agent, and then we ran it again, and that's when we ran into this error here. The string object has no attribute copy, and it had to do with our config list, which is here. So I had to go over to my config list and see what was going on with it. You open this up here. Let's open our config list, and we can see. So at first look, it looks like everything is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. But then you scroll down and see what the actual issue is. I don't know if it explains it here or I had to do the explain error that actually told us what was going on. Let's click on it and see if it opens up really quickly for us. You know, it took a while yesterday. It didn't load for us while the video was recording. And it looks like it's not going to load again because the video was recording. But initially it was saying that the copy couldn't be made on the string object has no attribute copy, saying that we couldn't copy the. If I can close it now, here we go right here. Indicates that you're trying to call copy method on a string object, but string doesn't have this method. So we're trying to call copy on a string. And I was figuring, why are we trying to call a copy on a string when it should be a list? And I came here and looked at this and saw that it wasn't in a list. I had it set up wrong, so I fixed it. Let me show you exactly how I fixed it. Put the proper. Now you can see that our config list is actually in a list now, and everything is structured properly. So let's go ahead and save that. So save it. We can close it out now. And we can close that back in, so it should be good. So now we can just go ahead and rerun everything and see what happens. Like I said, I'm not going to do all of the installs and all that stuff. I'm just going to run a code. So we're going to run from here again. Run the code, get that locked in, and then we're going to run our main again. And now we have this error here. And this is the error we were looking for. The API client option must be set either by passing API key to the client or by setting the OpenAI API key environment variable, which lets us know that our code is working perfectly fine and everything went through smooth. Now, why do I say that? If you recall, we open it up back again one more time. That I told you it wasn't going to work because we didn't set an API key. We just wanted to get to this point to make sure that we can run everything up until this point and that everything would go through. So if we actually put our API key in, the code would have read it and it would have linked to the model that we were trying to use, and our code would have ran successfully. So everything is good. Now we can move on. We can start transferring this code over. We want to let me close this really quickly. What we want to do is we want to convert. Let me close this also so I don't have all of this stuff open here and error it up. So what I want to do is I want to convert this code here from an OpenAI code to a Huggy Face code. So we're going to be using transformers and pipelines for that. But again, I just ran through this to make sure everything worked with the OpenAI version of it, which it did. We got all the way to the end and we were able to run it. The only reason we didn't generate a chat is because we didn't have an API key, which I told you that we weren't going to do. So everything is working perfectly fine now with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to convert this code over to a Huggy Face model and see if we can get it to run like that. Now we're going to use the Huggy Face model because we don't have to pay for a subscription with the Huggy Face platform. All of the most of the models on Huggy Face are open source, so they are free to use. So that's going to be the next step of this actual project. We're going to be converting this OpenAI chat to a Huggy Face chat, and that's where we're at with that. Again, I didn't want to wait all day and wait all night to try to make a video on this. I got it done, so I want to make a video on it and get it out of the way now. So we're done. So everything is good with our AI learning agents. We're all where we're supposed to be, and we're going to move forward with the conversion. But of course, I will keep you posted every step of the way. For now, this is the Python Papi. You guys stay Gucci.